Okay, so it looks like he's holding the green in front, and as we're watching, let's see, it looks like a D, inserting the edge and then rotating, and DR prime, D prime, and then that cross. Okay, so first of all, that cross is, I would say, extremely inefficient because first of all you're rotating twice, which is not good. At first glance, what I would do, have the pieces like this, and I could put this piece, this white blue piece, automatically right over here. Basically what that enables me to do is put this in here, so then these two, when I just solve them, they're going to be a D away or D prime away. But I want to take out this opposite because it's going to be misplaced, so I'm going to do an L also, and a so a D prime, and then put these two pieces in, and now they're all opposite underneath, so that's going to be really easy, and then I can just do a D2. I feel like that's going to be a lot more efficient instead of rotating and putting them all in separately at a time. So let's take a look. Okay, rotating twice automatically. So what you want to do is look for your first pair just a bit, and I understand you're still trying to get sub 20. Like this is not obviously the same case, but remember what pieces you're trying to look for. You solved white cross, so you're looking for your white corner. So just try to look for the corner, and then you can see what are the other colors on there. In this case, orange and then blue. And now I know the edge is right here. Then I can go straight into solving it. But let's check out your first pair here. It is this pair right here, the green and orange pair. So RU2, okay, like that. That is not an efficient way of solving it. There's another way that I would recommend doing it. So this is what it would look like. You would have the pair like this, sort of like a checkerboard pattern here. So what you could do for that, you could do triple sexy if you would like, and then put it in the back. So what I would do is do a U right here to move it away, do a sledgehammer, so R prime F R R F prime, like that. Now you have a split pair you can just put into the back with F moves, so like this. Other than that, you're looking in the back, and I think you are gonna do this pair next right here. And there's that U3. Once again, I can clearly see that you're sort of unfamiliar with your cases. This is the one you had, a way more efficient way of solving it. I'd say a 2-gen solution instead of splitting it up. Let's just ignore this cross edge right here. What you can do is R, U prime, R prime to insert this corner in, and then just this simple case, U prime, and then just pairing it up. R, U prime, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime. Okay, next up, you have the two pairs in the front, so always try to solve your pairs into the back, at least if you can. This looks like here you can do a triple sexy. Okay, that's something that I think you should learn instead of taking that corner out. It's a really simple algorithm to learn. Just this case right here, the checkerboard pattern, but it's in the same slot. So what you had right here, just do triple sexy move, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, and then U prime if you'd like at the end. And I can tell your finger tricks, you kind of hold it a little bit awkward. Try to hold it in a home grip as much as you can. That's going to benefit you a lot. Here is your final pair. Looks like it's a split pair here. Okay, it's good you're inserting it like that. That's how I would expect you to do it, is if you have it in the front. I noticed that you would get all of your cross edges unsolved and they'd be flipped. So what you could do, this is the split pair right here. Let's pretend that all the cross edges are not solved. So what you could do is a S move like this, and then R, U, R prime, inserting the pair, U prime, and then inserting it, or doing an S move back, and that orients your edges and at least gives you a bit of an easier case. So now here, I'm pretty sure you do 2-look OLL. So I don't expect to learn the dot cases quite this bit yet, so it's okay if you're doing 2-look here. I would recommend learning some of the OLLs. And here is this OLL here. Okay, so your finger tricks on this one is a little bit weird, but the algorithm is really good. So this is the case right here, and the way you can finger trick it is putting your thumb at the front, because finger tricks are really fundamental and something you should definitely learn. So put your thumb at the top, do F prime, R prime, and then do a pinch F like this with your left hand, R, wide R, U prime, R prime, and fast it looks like this. Okay, and now you are left with a V perm. So do a U2 flick, which is good. Double flick, once again, I think I've mentioned this before in other critiques. And yeah, this V perm is okay. I don't expect you to know the best PLLs, but at least you know how to solve the case in one go. Pretty nice. Finishing it off with a 23-second solve. Nothing much to critique about your PLL there. It was pretty good, except that I use a different PLL. Maybe I'll teach that in another video. Okay, so as I'm taking a look, this cross is going to be pretty simple. So you're putting it with green in the front. Let's see what you do. I think you'll do a U at first. U, R2, L2. Okay, that's a little bit weird because I think you could have done something a bit better here in terms of your cross. You could do it rotationless because you don't want to be looking for your third cross piece afterwards. I think that's what slows you down quite a bit. So a better solution for this would be holding the orange side in front of here, and you could do an L instead to put this green piece in. And as you can see, these two are both solved, these cross pieces, and in order to get this piece in and also this piece in, what you could do is just do a D prime and then do an L, R2, and then they're just a D move away from being solved. That's a much more efficient way of solving your cross because that way you don't have to rotate, and like I said before, having that cross piece in the back and having to look for it especially is not something you want to do. Okay, there you go. You have a free pair right here. I'm pretty sure you're going to do that into the back. Okay, that's not good. Once again, make sure to solve your pairs into the back. So you had something like, you probably know that back insert, but just being a bit more familiar with it, because I think that it takes a lot of practice over time to get used to how the pairs are maneuvered and how the cube works. So here we go. You're inserting that pair, and you can cancel into this pair. What I would do next would be this. Just do R prime U2 R. Okay, that's actually a solid pair there, I have to say, and it's really good you're inserting it into the back. However, I would have gone for the red and blue before. I have nothing much to critique about that, and this pair right here in particular is actually a really nice case. As you can see, the blue and orange pair, I bet you're probably not going to do this solution, so what you could do is do an L prime, and to put this pair in, do R U2 and then insert it back in. But let's see, I'm pretty sure you're going to take the pair out or put it in like that. Okay, 2 rotations is not good. I think you're a little bit unfamiliar with your cases here. I think a lot of just practicing a ton is going to help you a lot. Just sitting down and doing some solves is going to help familiarize yourself with the cases. Yep, take it out and then just put it back in. And now you have a really nice 2-gen solution here for your last pair. Okay, that's something I just want to go over. This case right here. So what you can do right here is just do an R U2 R prime for this pair, the red and green pair. So R U2 R prime to split it up and also make it a split pair, and then R U R prime. That way you can insert it into the front, and that was just another solution. I mean, this is also 2-gen, but it requires a ton more moves. So just learning cases like these, this is something that is part of the fundamentals of F2L. OLL, this is a pretty decent one there, I gotta say. And then here is your PLL. Okay, and that last F move, I want to just critique that a bit. Here's the fingertrickz. So you're doing the case, you know, like this, and then your F move, your thumb is right here, your right thumb, R, and then F prime, it's already in that position. You can just go like that. It's a much easier way, and here's what it looks like fast. And now on to PLL. Okay, so that case right there, you could be doing it from that exact angle with no AUF. Here's what the algorithm would look like. You would sort of rotate up with the headlights in the front. So do a X prime and do a R U prime R D2, R prime U R D2 R2. But instead, it looks like you're going to do the lefty algorithm here. I don't think you're left-hand dominant here. So I would recommend doing the algorithm I just showed, or you could do it from this angle with the headlights on the right, and it'd be like R2, D2, R, U, R prime, D2, R, U prime, R, like that. Otherwise, that was a pretty solid solve. Okay, so solve number 3, you're holding orange in front. Let's see, this is a actually really nice cross, and I could see you doing it in like 4 moves. Okay, so you do a D automatically, like that. Okay, once again, this double rotation during cross, you do not want to do that. Try not to rotate at all during your cross, even if you sometimes have to do unnecessary moves. I mean, not unnecessary, like awkward moves in the back. Just do untimed solves, I would recommend, and be sure not to rotate when you're solving your cross, like especially looking for other pieces. You should be able to plan your cross in inspection, know where all the pieces are. So I have this piece right here, then this piece right here. What I can do is bring this in, because these two are opposites, so influencing 2 pieces at a time is something you want to work on here. And now I can just do a D2, they're a D2 away, like that, and then R F prime to put the last 2 pieces in, and we can go transition into first pair. As you can see, I'm already loving this case that I just did right there. And there's your last cross piece. A little bit fumbly here. Instead, on that side, so you had to case something like this for your cross. What you could do instead is just do a D2 underneath it, because we know this piece is opposite and it's going to be a D2 away once to solve it. So all of these are solved at the bottom. Just do a D2, inserting that last cross piece, this cross piece right here, into the empty slot at the bottom. Solve it with just a D2 away. Looking in the back for your pairs. Okay, so it looks like you're going to do this one. It's good you're doing it in the back though. There's orange and blue pair. I think you're doing the orange and blue. Yep. There we go. And then here you can transition. I'm already seeing it easily, nicely into the blue and red pair. Here's the edge for it, and here's the corner. You can cancel into that, and you're looking around. I hope you do that pair, actually. Okay, the U3 again. When you do that case, just know that the corner, it needs to go over the edge. Think about it like this. This corner right here needs to get matched up with this edge here. So instead of doing a U3 and finding out where it goes, just know that moving this piece over here, when you move it over here, it's going to match up and pair it up like that. So you want to get it to the edge to form a pair. And here we go. Here's another pair that's really nice right in front of you. You can quite easily look ahead to. And I'm sort of confused. Why would you do that right there? Because you had something like this. You could just split it up, this pair right here, RU2 R prime, and then insert it into the front. And now you have a last pair, which is nice. And rotating down like this, looking at your cross, I don't think during F2L you ever want to look at your cross unless it's really like unsolved or anything. But as you can see, so U prime. Oh, okay, this is what a lot of beginner cubers do. They rotate it because you know that this corner is going to match up with this edge here. Here's the case. You know that if you do an R, bring this corner up, and then think of it like this. You want to move this edge back to match up with this pair here. And as you can see, it's matching up, and then R prime. And here we go. Here is the pair right here. Go straight into OLL. Really, really nice there. You're already at 17 seconds because I think that cross was a little bit fumbly for you. The execution for that was pretty good, and you're left with just an A prim there. And yeah, like I said before, you could do that other algorithm instead if you want to refer back to that one I just showed before, because I don't think a lefty one is good for that. Okay, and that was solve number 3. So here are just a couple things for you to work on. So the first thing, of course, is, let's start with the basics, fingertrickz. That's something, especially for your PLLs and OLLs, that's something you want to work on. Like, instead of regripping, you know when you're regripping, because you'll know that like your fingers are going out of home grip. Home grip is this position that I'm holding right now with your thumbs at the front on the two edges, and typically your fingers should be like this with the pinkies open and your pointer fingers open like this. In addition to this, the next step is cross. So that's something you want to work on, like I mentioned before, trying to do it in under 10 moves and reducing rotation. So let's just do an example real quick. Let's do white cross. So I already can see that this piece right here is inside with matching up with this center, so I can do I want to do an L because I know that when I put this in and then right after I can do a D, and then those two cross pieces will be solved right here. But instead what I want to do is I'm going to move this piece up in addition when I'm doing it, because this is also going to be a D away in addition. So I'm also going to sorry, I'm sort of confusing here, but now that those two pieces are in, I'm going to do an F, move that over because I want to get this piece in as well, influencing them all at the same time. R prime, F2, then after that all my cross pieces are in and all they need is just a D away from being solved. That one took less than 8 moves, I believe. Next up is F2L. Like I was talking about some of those sort of simpler F2L cases. Like I would recommend looking up beginner to intermediate F2L cases, stuff like this I was talking about before, like this sort of checkerboard, U, sledgehammer, and then you can insert it into the side. OLL, I'd say it's pretty solid actually. Nothing much to work on except fingertrickz, and same with PLL, except try to work on doing it right-handed dominant, because I know you had 2 A-perms that happen to be on that left side. F2L and cross are definitely your weaknesses here, but the last layer I could see is your sort of strength in a way here. That is it for the solve critique. Thank you so much for submitting your solves. Thank you so much for watching as the viewer, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have an amazing day. Comment, like, subscribe. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.